Hello, it's Anna here from Papercraft Create and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining today. Our KCC 19 collaboration hop featuring super sponsor Crafty Critter. Our team will be showcasing some of their amazing products using Kendra's Card Challenge card sketches. As you can see here, I'm just running through most of the products I'll be using today in my cards. I'll be making two. And there's a few little bits and pieces that were just foiled bits that I had already little scraps in my stash. And also I mistakenly forgot to add the white toner paper, which you will see me using, and I'll highlight that shortly to use on one of my negative foil pieces. So today I'll be making two cards, and I'll be making cards using Card Sketch 2 and Card Sketch 15. I've also left in a little bit of footage which has been sped up of how to use these toner foils. So in case you're new to toner foiling or just a little unsure or just want to have a look and see how they turn out, I thought it might be a good idea just to highlight how wonderful and how seamless these Crafty Critter products do foil. So I've used a couple of the foils there just on the printed toner foil sheets. These are the foil art sheets. So one is the dots and then the other one is the sentiments. And now this is the white toner paper that I'm using. So it's just a complete special white toner paper where you can use for your negative foil pieces. So this one here will be predominantly the pink foil with the white dots, as opposed to obviously the other one, which is mostly white with the pink. So you get both of those. So a 2-for-1, which is an added extra bonus. These will be my patterned paper pieces. So adding a little bit of extra bling. Now the cards I'm making today are super bright and fun. I'm using some of Crafty Critter's patterned paper, which is just so gorgeous and really bright and colourful. I've really loved using it. Now, what I'm doing with these sentiments is I wanted to add a bit of colour to them. So because obviously it's a sort of metallic foil, you can definitely colour over them. I've just used my little distress inks and just sort of swiping them across. Now, you'll see later on perhaps with these sentiments I did have a little problem with the blue one, so I will in fact do another one. There was a fingerprint or something on it and it was just bothering me that the color wasn't catching, but you just sort of got to let them dry, and then once they're dry you can just wipe off the ink that might be still on the wet on the foil bit. So firstly with card sketch 2, I'm pretty much following these card sketches pretty much to the T. So I've left a little diagram in the top right hand corner so you can have a look and see roughly what the card sketch entails, and I'll be doing my interpretation of it, which as I said is fairly much the same. As I put Card Sketch 2 together, you'll see that I start matting up my layers. So I wanted a pink edge on this card, but I didn't want to use a whole piece of my pink cardstock just to save on my supplies. So this is a great tip. You can just make sort of a card front and just pop it on a white card base. However, in doing this, I realised after I had stuck it down that my little strips that I'm sticking on actually only go to the edge of the silver. So don't do as I did and take this as a little tip. Cut them before you put it onto your card base. But look, it all worked out, so there's no stress there, just a little bit easier to do. Now this silver foil is in fact just some scraps that I had pre-foiled on another card. And it's just a silver foil stars in the toner foil. I'll leave a link for that below also in the description box. And it just is really cute and goes really nicely with these beautiful tones in this paper. I absolutely love this paper. It's just so bright and fun, and I think just makes such the cheeriest birthday card as I'm doing in this case. As I mentioned earlier, this video is part of a hop. I'd like to invite you to watch my fellow design team members' videos. There is a convenient playlist linked below, so you'll be able to head to that playlist and watch all of the videos quite conveniently. Now, there is also a giveaway part of this hop. Now, there is a deadline, so you'll need to watch the videos by September 23rd, 2025, and then you'll find the Google form to fill out to enter the competition. Now, Kendra has kindly offered a free official Patreon membership to Cards by Kendra for 1 month. That'll give you a nice little insight into the Patreon membership she offers. There are different levels, different tiers of membership. You can go and have a look at that. And if you're lucky enough to win, get to experience it for 1 month, which is just fantastic. So get on to that one there. I'm now finishing up this first card. I'm just putting a couple of levels of cardstock on the back of this focal piece. It just lifts it a little bit. It's not as obvious as a foam tape, but it certainly just lifts it off the page nicely. Sometimes when you've got a lot going on with lots of color and so on, it just gives it a little bit of dimension without being super fat. Now, as I mentioned earlier about how there was a smudge on my sentiment, that sort of just dried terribly, so I've just coloured another sentiment that was part of this range, and as I said, it's basically just swiping over with any sort of ink, and then of course, because the foil is shiny, the ink doesn't attach to it, so you can just wipe that off quite nicely. And this is a great way that you can colour a white background very quickly and very easily. You just do need to let it dry. I'll be using a foam tape on the sentiment, just really making that pop off the page. And I like to always just add a little bit of height to my cards, but I didn't want to sort of put the tape on the focal point, then put the tape on that, because it makes it quite thick, particularly if you're posting this card. Now I have my little embellishment, any shape as this card sketch intends, and I've actually used the 3D foil on this one here, which is really sort of something I'd never sort of seen before. And it just gives a bit of dimension to just a flat toner paper. So I've used the yellow toner paper here. It might not show up, but it does give it sort of a 3D reflective type, not reflective, but type of look. My tip, if you're using a single card front to add on to a card, is use a wet glue, because it just makes it a little bit easier to line up, and just make sure that you sort of as sort of straight as you can be. I don't usually like to use wet glue alone. I tend to be an overgluer, but I think it works great for this instance here. Now moving on to card sketch 15, which is my second card. This time here I decided to mount that foiled sentiment onto a second piece of cardstock, just because it does get quite wet, and I just felt it was could have done with just to make it a little bit more firmer by having it layered up. This card sketch once again is fairly true to the card sketch as well. What I've done is, because there's a lot of bright color here, I wanted to just really highlight that beautiful paper and the foils, so I've used a matte of white on white and just textured it with a cover plate, a diagonal striped color plate. I find that really just gives you a little bit of texture, but just doesn't distract from the beautiful products that I'm using. So just a little bit about the Kendra's Card Challenges. If you haven't tried them before, or unsure or unaware of the card making challenge itself, so it's basically a challenge that Kendra from Cards by Kendra puts together. It is open worldwide, and it's basically taking 6 pieces of patterned paper, 6 by 6, and cutting them to her cutting instructions, and then she provides card sketches where you can make a start from. You can make them your own, or copy them, or do them exactly as they are. Now it's a lot of fun. You get to enter all your cards in once you've completed the 15 cards, and go in the running to win some amazing prizes. There are prizes from our wonderful sponsors, both monthly and quarterly. It's just a lot of fun, a great way to use up your supplies and, come across and make a whole bunch of cards. Now, all the information of how to enter and where to download the PDF is all in the description box. So you will just need to sign up to become a free member of Kendra's Patreon to download that PDF. And then she has an amazing intro video, which is also linked, where you can have a look, and she just runs through all the competition bits and pieces. And on the actual PDF itself, it's got some wonderful instructions of where to go, how to enter, and all of that stuff in between. So, it just is something I urge you, to take part in and really, exercise your crafting skills and creativity. I'd like to do a shout out to the wonderful Crafty Critter. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the challenge. It helps the challenge to keep going, and it just gives us a wonderful opportunity to showcase the amazing products you have. So I'll leave the link to the website of Crafty Critter, who are located in Australia. But they have a wonderful supply of foiling products for both hot and toner foiling, and some other wonderful crafty bits and pieces. So please do check them out. The foil accents on these cards that I've made just look wonderful. I just love the way it just makes the color pop off the page. So thank you so much for being a supporter. So please get around to all the videos. I hope we inspire you to join the challenge. This challenge will end at the end of September, so make sure to get on board fairly quickly, get your cards made, and enter them into the challenge to win some wonderful prizes. You'll be able to find all that information once again on the Kendra'sCardChallenges.com website. So please do get in. So I just love the way this wonderful card just pops off the page. All that color is just amazing. Until next time, happy crafting.